America, I'm Mark Levin, and this is Life, Liberty, and Levin Saturday. I'm glad you're here. We have a great show, Victor Davis Hanson and Steve Moore. But before we get to our wonderful guests, let's cut to the chase. You hear all this analysis on the debate, analysis about what's going on. Let's stop pretending. Kamala Harris cannot run on her record, and she cannot run on her ideology. So she talks about the future. The future. Well, we don't know what's in the future unless we look at somebody's record and look at their ideology. This is the biggest scam in American electoral history. A massive cover-up. She's camouflaging her radical Marxist Islamist agenda, and with the help of the Praetorian Guard media, she's lying about her record. In fact, she lies all the time. And then she plays Catch Me If You Can. Just be available to the American people. That debate, as far as Kamala Harris is concerned, they're chalking it up as a great victory. Why? I would ask anybody who's still an undecided voter, do you have any idea where she stands? Do you have any idea what her economic plan is? Do you have any idea what her immigration plan is? Well, I do. Many of you do, because we know she's a radical Marxist Islamist. But people out there who are low information voters, who are undecided voters, after that debate, they don't know any more than they knew going into that debate. Donald Trump, everybody knows where he stands substantively. Everybody. We know where he stands on law and order. We know where he stands on the border. We know where he stands on the economy. He believes in strengthening the private sector, not Washington, D.C. We know where Donald Trump stands. We don't have to guess. We don't have to pretend. But Kamala Harris is the biggest Houdini in American politics now and ever. But if she had a great record, the Harris-Biden regime, if things were going well, if she could tout them and celebrate them and talk about them, she would. Now we know this because 40 years ago, really almost to the day, President Ronald Reagan was running for his second term in 1984. And one of the most successful ads in American campaign history was the Morning in America ad. The problem for Kamala Harris is she can't run a Morning in America ad because America is falling apart under her regime. Now, I want to remind all of you, and I want for the first time to reveal to many of you what it was like in 1984, where you had a successful president, a successful administration that was running for re-election. Kamala Harris wants a promotion from vice president when she was the worst vice president in American history. Ronald Reagan wanted to win a second term, and he told you why, because he was proud of his record. Remember this?
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married. And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago, they can look forward with confidence to the future. It's morning again in America. And under the leadership of President Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago?
Gives you chills at that, doesn't it? Reagan was proud of his record. Reagan engaged. He would tout his record wherever he went, wherever he could. Kamala Harris lies about her record if she talks about it at all. I mean, here we have from the Federalist 25 lies Kamala Harris told in her debate against Trump. Here we have Breitbart, 21 false claims and hoaxes by Kamala Harris that ABC's debate moderators did not fact check. In other words, even when it comes to talking about her record, such as it is, she just lies. And she lies all the time, or she plays rope-a-dope. And reason she won't explain why she switched positions. Listen, because she hasn't switched positions. She's the good old Marxist Islamist she's been for half a century. For half a century. Now, Kamala Harris, she can't run on cutting inflation. She caused it. She can't run on cutting taxes. She raised them. She can't run on securing the border. She unsecured the border. She can't run on cutting gasoline prices. She raised them. She can't run on safe streets. Our streets are a disaster. She can't run on peace and tranquility. War has broken out in every region of the world as a result of Harris and Biden. She can't run on improvement in education and school choice because she's helped destroy public education and she opposes school choice. She can't run on all her accomplishments for the black community. There are no accomplishments for the black community. She can't run on women's rights. She'll demagogue abortion to the end, but she's destroyed women's rights, especially in sports, especially all those women enslaved, mostly brown and black women, on the southern border, because she was the border czar. Okay, she's not the border czar. She's the damn vice president of the United States. Oh, but she's for women's rights? Where? Show me. How? When? She says she was this great prosecutor when she was attorney general and DA. Well, she's now the vice president of the United States. Tell me, how many people have gone to prison on the border who've killed people, raped people, who've sold people into slavery because Kamala Harris is some great prosecutor heading some commissioner demanding the Department of Justice do so? None. Now, she's vice president of the United States. She's got multiple personalities. She's running as an incumbent. She's running as a non-incumbent. She's running as a moderate. She's running as a radical. Here's the telltale sign. The Marxist Islamists in Congress, Omar, Tlaib, AOC, Bernie Sanders, and all the rest of them, the organizations that promote these agendas, including anti-Semitic agendas, anti-American agendas, anti-capitalist agendas. Have you noticed they're all silent? They're not complaining about the campaign she's running because they know the campaign she's running. It's the rope-a-dope campaign. The media know exactly the same thing. That's why ABC News did what ABC News did. These aren't two moderators that we saw at the debate. These are two apparatchiks. Apparatchiks for the state, apparatchiks for the Democrat Party, which the Democrat Party views as one and the same. State-run media, state-run apparatchiks. Vladimir Putin would have been proud having these moderators in a so-called debate. But I want you to remember something also. Probably the greatest constitution ever written was written in 1936. We've talked about this before, by Joseph Stalin. The great Antonin Scalia has referred to this too when he was alive. He testified about it, the greatest constitution. There it was. More rights than our Bill of Rights, taking care of people, economic freedom, the right to protest, the right to challenge the government, and yet he ran a genocidal police state. A genocidal police state. Let me tell you something, Kamala Harris. Your record means everything. Your ideology means everything. Don't keep brushing us off. Talk about the future. You only care about the future. The future is going to be bleak and dark and gray with you because you're an incompetent, you're a failure, and you're an ideologue. I can't think of a worse brew than that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we vote for president for ourselves. This isn't about Kamala Harris. This isn't about the Democrat Party. This is about we, the people. What kind of person we want as president of the United States. She has shown us nothing but disrespect. She has no respect for our intelligence. She has no respect for this country or our electoral system. She lied over and over and over again to cover up Joe Biden's mental incapacity, right up to the very end, even after the debate. She knew he was incapable of being president, but she wanted to be there. She wanted to be in power. She had the power to trigger the 25th Amendment to remove him. She wouldn't do it. Why? Because she wanted to stay in good standing with her party. Her party rewarded her. She was involved in the coup against Biden. She just wasn't an observer. She knocks him off. She becomes the nominee in a virtual nomination process. They don't even have an open convention. There's no challenge. And now she's saying, vote for me, the worst vice president in American history, with these Marxist Islamist positions that are so radical that she's to the left of Bernie Sanders. And then she says during the debate, oh, no, she plays rope-a-dope. You cannot tell me one substantive thing that she said about the economy, the border, crime, nothing. They spent 7 days in Pittsburgh, holed up in a hotel room to try and figure out how to attack Donald Trump. And the media celebrated it. Now, this is important. Why? She was not preparing for a debate to reveal herself to the American people, to win on the issues. She was preparing to have a debate that would please the press. So she had all these cheap shots and all these attacks. It was a debate for her, for the press, because the press is carrying her water. The state-run media is her Praetorian Guard. And so they're cheering her on. And yet, survey after survey, undecided voters are saying, well, we still don't know where she stands. That was her goal, to lie about Trump, to lie about herself, to lie about her regime, and to slime Trump, and to give the talking points and whatever she thought they needed to the media. Oh, that was a fantastic debate. How can it be a fantastic debate when you're a pathological liar? How can it be a fantastic debate when every other word out of your mouth was a lie? So it was not a fantastic debate for her. For Donald Trump, he did exactly what he needed to do. He was Donald Trump. He explained his economic positions. He explained his immigration positions. He explained he's tough on crime. He explained he wants to build up the military. He explained his positions when it comes to foreign policy. He explained correctly that he's pro-Israel, but Kamala Harris is anti-Israel, that she hates Israel, and she does. Excuse me, they're withholding arms from Israel in the middle of a war. Doesn't sound like she loves Israel very much, and on and on and on. So who lost in that debate? Kamala Harris. Just because the media said she won, who cares? Who lost in that debate? The media, for the 4,000th time, has discredited itself. It is not a professional organization. It doesn't care about the free press. It doesn't care about America or anything else. It is a grotesque propaganda operation. And ABC News should be ashamed of itself, but it won't be. Because the head of ABC News is apparently good buddies with Kamala Harris, this incestuous relationship with Democrats and the media in America. So the needle hasn't moved that much because it isn't morning in America. It's not morning in America. Kamala Harris doesn't care about morning in America because she doesn't care about America. And if she cares about America, it would have done her well during that debate to explain to us how and why, rather than she cares about the future and families. Well, she doesn't care about the future and families. She's destroying our economy. She's destroyed our border. She's destroying our military and our cops. Inflation is on her. Price increases on her. High interest rates are on her. Does that sound like somebody who cares about the future and families? She cares about herself. She's been a politician her entire life, clawing her way up the ladder one way or another, and she's still clawing her way up. The question I have for you, my fellow citizens, is this. Are we going to put up with this? We're on the brink of war, with an economy headed toward a depression, with our children being taught all kinds of pornographic and sexual deviancy? Because if you like that, there's going to be a hell of a lot more of it. And you reach a point in a republic where there's a point of no return. Are we really going to elect somebody like this as president of the United States? God willing, we won't. Donald Trump won that debate because he was Donald Trump. Kamala Harris lost that debate because she was Kamala Harris. I'll be right back.